This ginormous dog is Zeus, and he has some potty issues in the house. So in this video, we're going to go over tips and tricks that you can use to potty train a puppy. Now, he's 6 months old. It's important to understand that puppies can only hold their bladder for about an hour for every month that they've aged. And they can't really have full bladder control until about 9 months. Now, the guardian here kind of left another relationship, and the person in the relationship was doing some things for the dog that I'm not a big fan of. Now, a lot of people, if the dog has an accident in the house, they want to punish the dog. And if you really feel like you have to punish, what you should do is, like, if the dog has an accident, get a stick or something that's going to hurt really bad. And then really hard, you should hit yourself, because you put yourself in position to have your dog have an accident. It's just like having a child. We would never get mad at a child for having an accident or wetting their bed. They don't have the ability to control it. So for a puppy, the way that he was trained, I think he's a little bit confused about potty training. Now, if you have a dog, thank you, buddy, that has been potty trained and we've used a word in not necessarily the best way, we might, I find it a lot of times it's better to jettison that word and come up with a new word. Now, I like fun command words. Dogs can read a human facial expression. They're the only animal on the planet that can do that besides humans. So if you say something funny and the dog, and a command that's funny, and your kids laugh, or your neighbors laugh, or your friends laugh, the dog can see that and feels good about itself. I have some clients that immigrated from Russia. They were Jewish, and they left Russia because Putin is not very nice to people who practice Judaism. Well, when they came to the States, they hired me. The dog was having accidents in the house. I'm like, let's come up with a funny word to go potty. They couldn't think of one, so I said Putin. And so every time the dog pees or poops, they say Putin, and they have a very, it's in Los Angeles, they have a very Jewish neighborhood, and people love the dog because they're not fans of Putin. And so everybody in the community is now, it resonates, and it brings a little bit of levity to it. Now, I use the word business, and that's the word that I'm going to use in this video, but the guardian can change it to another word if she likes. Now, first of all, a couple of things that you don't ever want to do. For a puppy, if they are having an accident in front of you, catch them and you yell at them, you go, bad dog, don't potty, bad dog. The dog hears the human gets mad when I potty, not the human gets mad when I potty inside. So if your dog has an accident and you are in the house, what you want to do is slap the wall, drop a book. I prefer not to clap because I want the dog to come. I want that to be a positive sound. And you just want to make a sound to distract the dog and then immediately take it to the outside, to the right place. Now, the other thing that you don't want to ever do is rub the dog's nose in feces or urine. That just has been, it's been clinically proven in scientific studies over and over, it will make it harder. Both of these things will make it harder, and the dog will not come to you to tell you it's got a potty to let it be outside because you're going to get mad at me. You're going to punish me. You're rubbing my nose in urine. So I'm going to go hide and do it behind the couch, which is what we have going on now. So I talked to the guardian about setting up a puppy playroom. Now, it should be linked above this to what I did set up for my puppy Quest. Now, the puppy will have accidents in there, but it's on vinyl flooring, so it's easy to clean up and it's contained. Now, a couple of things. When it comes to puppies, the 3 times they're most apt to need to potty are going to be right after waking up, 5 minutes after eating, and 15 minutes after the start of heavy playtime. So he was running around in here pretty good. I let him drink some water before that, then he ran around. We had him chasing a laser to exercise him a little bit. And then I've kept him on my lap so that he can't go and have, because all he does is he goes and has a little accident. So we're going to go outside in a minute and I'm going to show you the proper way to reward him for doing it. Now, a couple other things. What I like to do is take my puppy out once an hour. The idea is I want the dog to be in the area where it's appropriate to potty when they happen to need to. Now, a lot of people think, well, I put my dog out in the backyard for an hour, brought her back inside and he peed. What the hell is this dog's problem? Dogs are easily distracted, especially puppies. Take it outside, give it at those times that it's nice, that's appropriate to go, after eating, waking up, or playtime. Also, if it gets up and just runs across the room for no reason, a lot of times that means they have to poop. But if so, and again, once an hour, I take the dog out the hour, and then if the dog starts to pee or poop, I'm going to say the command word when they do it. You have 3 seconds to correct or reward your dog for them to have the ability to make the connection of what you're doing, but it has to be repeated over and over. So I'm also going to show you, talk about how you can actually, when we go outside, teach your dog to go potty in a specific part of your yard, which is pretty easy if you just use the right technique. Let me see. Now, you want to use a one-word command, and it shouldn't be a word that we use elsewhere, and try to make sure that the word is, we're saying it the same way. Sometimes people say business. Other people, when the dog's been having an accident inside, and the dog's outside pottying and pooping, you go, business! And you see the difference. So what I started talking about earlier is dogs get distracted. So I take it outside at the appropriate time. I give it 5 minutes to go, and I stay outside with the dog. Now, it's not appropriate, you know, we have busy lives. We don't have time to spend an hour. But if after 5 minutes he hasn't gone, it's not important, it's not urgent enough for him to need to go. So I bring the dog inside and I do what I basically been doing for the last half hour. Hold the dog, or I put it in a kennel if you want, or keep it with you. Tie the leash to your belt, so because it only takes a second for him to go out of your sight and he pees or poops. And then it's self-rewarding behavior. Oh, we have a dog tour. Amazing. Wait for the dog door until after he's been potty trained properly. You want him to concentrate. So after 5 minutes, if he doesn't go, we bring him inside. I hold him for 15 to 30 minutes, your prerogative, or put him on a leash. And then we take him back outside and we keep repeating it, but only 5 minutes. If he's distracted, it's not urgent enough to go. Okay, so the word that I'm going to use is going to be business. Now, if we can, actually, I'm going to have the guardian pan to the door. The exposure is going to change on the camera, so wait for it to change. I just want to show what's hanging from the doorknob. And can you see it? It might be blacked out a little bit. All right, then you can come back to me once you've shown. So basically, she has bells hanging from the door. Now I'm going to explain how you use that. This is the most common mistake people make, is they hang the bell from the door. Dogs learn through association. Like I said, you have 3 seconds. Well, when does this bell ring? When the door opens. So to a dog, that's what the bell means, is the door is opening or going outside. It does not mean to potty. So what I'm going to do outside, I'm going to explain how we do it for the verbal command, and then you can use the same principle with the bells. For the verbal command, I'm going to take him outside in a minute. I'm going to wait for him to pee or poop. I'm going to follow around and stay within 5 feet of him. As soon as he starts to pee or poop, in a normal tone of voice, one time, I'm going to say the word business. I want to say it loud enough for him to hear it, but not so loud or excited that's going to stop him from evacuating his bladder. As soon as he gets done pottying, I'm going to have a high-value training treat here. I have the chicken liver training treats, and I'm going to give one to him. Business. Now, whenever you use the treat should go in the mouth first, and the dog should hear the command word immediately afterwards. And we want to use exclusively the command word, not good poop, not go poop. Go ahead and change hands if you want. I talk a lot. But a lot of us baby talk or caveman talk, or, oh, potty, 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 waddy. That's a different command word. So just say business, or whatever the word is that you want to use. So as soon as he's within 3 seconds of him starting, we're saying the word business. And then I'm going to follow him around, or maybe within 5 feet of him, or 10 feet, excuse me. And then as soon as he gets done, I'm going to give him that treat, and after it goes in the mouth, say the word business a second time. The first time associates the command word with the action of eliminating, one word for pee and the same word for poop. The second time I say business associates the reward with the command word. After a while, with enough repetition, they all become conflated. Now, what I would suggest, if you want to completely potty train him within about 2 weeks, somebody should follow him outside every time he goes out to potty, and have a treat with you so that we reward him. So like I said off camera, the dog's like, I will dare not pee in the house, because if I pee, this is precious stuff. If I pee outside, I get paid with this delicious chicken liver. If I do it inside, I don't get paid anything. So after a while, you'll be able to say the word business, and the dog looks at you like this, you know, it's a no. If you say business, the dog's like, then you know that's a yes, and then you take him outside and let him do his business. Now, for the, if you want to ring the bell, what you want to do is hang the bell next to the door, not on the door. Also, make sure you hang it in a way that when the door opens, it doesn't cause a breeze to cause it to ring. And we have 3 bells hanging at the end of that. I would take one of those bells with me outside while I'm training him. So again, first do the word first. A lot of people try to do both at the same time, and it backfires. So when he starts to pee or poop, I gently start to ring the bell while he pees or poops the entire duration of the peeing and pooping. As soon as he gets done, I clamp it, and I go give him a treat, and as soon as the treat goes in the mouth, I start jingling it again. And don't jingle it like this. Jingle, jingle. Try to emulate or simulate the sound that the dog is going to make when it touches it with its nose or its paw. So you do that for a week. You take it outside, and as soon as it starts to pee or poop, you jingle it, and then as soon as it gets done, clamp it. And when you're walking in and out, make sure it's clamped. So the only time he hears it is when he's eliminating or after the treat goes in his mouth. And once the treat goes in his mouth, I jingle it the same way for the duration of him chewing the treat. Okay, so those are the ways that you can train your dog to potty train for a command word as well as for the bell. Now, the last little tip that I'm going to go over is how to train your dog to pee in or poop in a certain part of your yard. Now, after this, we're going to take him outside and we're going to let him pee, and hopefully he'll demonstrate on camera and I can show you the rewards that I just went through. So basically what I do is I take the dog to a corner. It should be far away from your house. Dogs are programmed to kind of pee away from the nest. So what I would do is take him out there on a leash. Take him to that area, and once he's in the area, I have like usually 4 or 5 foot leashes. He can go anywhere that he can reach. I'm not moving my feet. So this is the perimeter where you can pee or poop. When he pees or poops in there, give him the treat and say the word business just the way I described. Do that every time for a week. Now, after he's peed or pooped, then he's kind of unloaded. Then he can have access to running around the house free and some other stuff because he's safe. And then again, once an hour, we take him back out. So the next step is after the second week when we're training, so the first 1 or 2 weeks should be training with the command word. Second or third week would be ringing the bell. I don't even think you need a bell because you have a dog door. So I would probably get rid of the bell in this particular case. But if you do want to use that, then do that the second and third week. But the second and third week, and for the bell, I forgot. So once you get to the point, after the second or third week, once you've done that for a week's worth of every potty you're jingling during and after, then you want to take a dab of peanut butter. And the bell there is a little bit lower. It should hang so that when the dog walks up, it's nose level. So you take a tiny dab of peanut butter and put it on there. And I mean tiny dab. People put too much, the dog's like, I don't want to go outside, there's peanut butter here to lick up. So just a tiny little prick of it. And then as soon as, so I do go over there every time the dog needs to go out and potty, I put a dab of peanut butter on, or I sometimes will pick up the dog's paw and do like this. And as soon as it makes a sound, I open the door and let the dog go out. Now, when you start using the bell, anytime the dog rings it, you have to immediately get up and let it out right away. Otherwise, it'll go potty somewhere else. Okay, so to teach your dog to go in a certain spot in the yard, go out there for the first week with a leash, and he can go anywhere in that area for 5 minutes. If he doesn't go, then he comes back inside, does the same thing. And then after the second week, we lead him there but off leash. And we have 5 treats with us. This is what we call a jackpot. So if he pees or poops anywhere in that circle of where the leash allowed before, he gets 5 treats. And say, business, business. Each time the treat goes in his mouth, he should hear the word. We want him going, holy cow, what did I just do? I just got the mother load of treats. I got to remember what I did so I can get that reward again. So that's why we do a jackpot. So we do that, and then if he goes anywhere else in the yard, he gets 1 treat. So he gets a reward if he goes outside anywhere, but if he goes in a special spot. And if you have kids, which we do, well, not me, but they're going to be playing in the background, it's nice to have all the pee and poop in one area. So, okay, so what we're going to do, and we're going to probably have an aperture freak out as we transition from in and outdoors, but I'm going to take him outside, and I have a potty treat here. I'm going to use the word business, and we're hopefully going to be able to see him demonstrate him pottying and then rewarding him. Now, when you're doing it, make sure you can see right now he's looking for the treat. I put it in my pocket away, but don't let him know that you have a treat. So sometimes I have a little container near the door so that I can actually, or just have one in my pocket. But as soon as he hears the bag open, the box open, he's not going to, I don't want to pee, I want that treat. So be real subtle about that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take him on out. Let's see if he'll want to go out. Come on, go ahead and come on out. And then call him.
Zeus. Zeus.
Zeus.
Zeus.
Oh, no, no, no. Zeus.
Zeus.
They left at the exact worst time. All right, let me go ahead and I'm gonna, sorry for the thumb. All right, go ahead and once he comes out, Zeus. There we go, go ahead and close the door. So again, I'm not gonna engage with him. I'm just gonna ignore him. I'm just gonna film him. And he looks like he's almost peeing. He's in the pee posture. Now, usually they'll sniff around, and that's one of the signs when he's inside. If you see the dog inside start sniffing around, especially if they do figure 8s, that usually means they need to go. So you're going to watch him do a little bit, okay. Now, I was strategic about this. I gave him some water, and I've been holding him, so I know he's got to go. We'll see if I am correct. But this looks like the behavior that you would expect. He's kind of sniffing and moving around. Business. Business. So that's basically how you do it. It's pretty unusual. He's lifting his leg pretty early. Usually puppies don't do it until they're a lot older. All right. Well, that was basically, this is basically an explanation of how you can potty train a puppy. Give me 1 second. Can you hold this for me real quick? And let me just sign off. So these are tips and tricks that you can use if you have a puppy that has accidents in the house.